Hey guys, welcome to a video. My live tonight went crazy, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on how to do this interlocking fancy fold using the More Than Autumn bundle. So it's got this cute little hot chocolate, and you open it up and it's got your sentiment inside. So because my video went wonky, we're gonna do this again. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to bring out my Memento ink and I'm going to stamp the hot chocolate mug on a piece of DSP. And I like this little plaid design. Then I'm going to take a piece of basic white and I'm also going to stamp that hot chocolate cup along with the whipped cream. Oops, everything's flying a little bit tonight. So I'm using Memento because I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends, and that allows you to use those alcohol-based markers so that you get a beautiful image. So I'm going to bring my alcohol ink Stampin' Blends out here, and I'm going to use the dark crumb cake, and I'm just going to do kind of some brushing, just light brushing along the sides. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my light crumb cake and just kind of fill in the blanks. Now, when I'm using my Stampin' Blends, I usually color in a circular pattern. So that helps pull that ink over so you get that nice blended look I'm talking about. So I start out with small little concentric circles, and then as I'm filling in, and once I get mostly filled in, I do the larger circles. So I work my way up from very small circles to much larger circles, and sometimes it's like ovals that I'm coloring in, just so that I can get that two different tones there. Now on my whipped cream, I'm going to use the bullet in. I'm going to take ivory and just kind of color along here so that you can see. And you may not be able to see this on camera. I'm fairly confident you won't be able to see this on camera, but you can tell that it may be two different colors. Okay, so I'm going to bring out my mini cut and emboss, and I'm going to use my die cuts, and I'm going to cut the whipped cream, and I'm going to cut the cup. And I feel like I might be able to do this. I've got them stamped far enough apart that I probably can do this all in one fell swoop. So I'm going to set that die there, and I'm going to put my whipped cream die on here. You guys probably can't see that, so I'll move that over just a little bit. I'm going to stamp this down and hold it right in the center, and that's going to keep those dies where I want them. Okay, now in the original card that I made, I used the adhesive foam sheets to do this hot chocolate, so you can tell that it's kind of dimensional there, but we're not going to do that on this one just because I can't fight with those foam sheets again tonight. It's a nice look, but not if you're going to do several of them. All right, we'll move that out of the way. And then I'm going to take a pair of paper snips, and I'm just going to cut along the line and fussy cut because I want this jacket that you put on your coffee cup to be with that cute plaid. So not a hard fussy cut, just a nice simple cut here. If it was much harder than that, I probably wouldn't do it. Okay, next I'm going to take some glue, and I'm going to add this with my tweezers. I think that'll work a little better for me. And I'm going to just put just a little bit of glue here and add my jacket there. I think that's what those are called. Coffee jackets, is that right? And then I'm going to do just a little bit of adhesive here. And I'm doing the liquid adhesive, which I don't normally use because we don't always get along well. But there's that. Now, let's do the inside here. So I have a class tomorrow, so I've already taken my greetings of the season down. So I pulled another sentiment from, oh, crumb. And it looks like I'm going to have to do pecan pie with this one because I took my Poppy Parade ink downstairs too. So this is Hope Your Days Are Filled with Laughter. This is from this Sophisticated Sled bundle, or the stamp set, I should say. So we'll set that aside. And there's always different things you can do with these cards. They don't have to always be matchy-matchy. So here's some Stampin' Seal Plus. We're just going to use that to get this on a petal pink mat. And then we're ready to start getting our card together. Ooh, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of these layers. I've got mats galore. So what I have is I have a piece of Poppy Parade measuring 3 3/8 by 2 3/8. And I'm just adhering some DSP that's just a little bit smaller. So that's going to be 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'll add that. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And this piece is 3 7/8 by 2 7/8, leaving the DSP to be, what's that? 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. Yeah. And these dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow. Then we have some petal pink that we're adding our DSP to. I'm pulling that down just a little bit. I don't want to get this wonky because I did that earlier. I'm going to pull this over before I push it down. There we go. There we are. And then one last. So here's all of our pieces for our card base that we're getting ready to score. So I'm going to use my Simply Score tool because that's my scoring mechanism of choice. I'm going to set these over here and there. So let me bring out my Simply Score tool. I have a piece of Poppy Parade measuring 5 1/2 by 10 3/4. And I am going to score it once I find my score tool. I'm going to score that at 1 5/8. So that's the 1 tick behind 1 1/2. There's that nice deep burnish. We're going to do 3 1/4. We're going to do 7 1/2. And then we're going to do 8 5/8. So there's our half, there's 5. That doesn't seem right. 9 1/8. 9 1/8 is where we want that. So 7 1/2 and 9 1/8. That's where we are. And once again, these will be on my blog tomorrow. So I'm going to pull that. So since I started scoring there, I'm just going to rub that out, and most of it comes out. Okay, so I'm folding it at the second score mark here. And then I'm going to fold and burnish it at the second score mark there. There's a score. I knew I had a bone folder around here somewhere, so I'm going to do that nice deep burnish. And then I'm going to fold those first score marks back. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to do the same thing on this. So you'll see there is an opening, but that is for your interlocking pieces. So nice deep burnishes. There we go. So we'll go ahead and adhere the inside to our card base. And so once again, this is easily cased. I need to give a shout out to Verna Mullins. This is where I found hers on Pinterest. And I love that interlocking card and had to give it a try. So we're just adding our layers to the card front, and then we'll get to the fun stuff. Okay, so here's our card base. We've got all of this put together. Now, what we're gonna do is you've got your 2 layers with your interlocking pieces. So we're basically going to set them up so that they open like there. So I'm going to take some Seal Plus actually, and I'm going to find this first spot that I like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot cocoa and I'm going to add 2 Stampin' Dimensionals to this. That's all that it gets. And I'm going to do it on just one side. Oops, that top already came off. And the reason I'm only doing it on the top or on the side is because this is going to be what your card interlocks to. And if you put it all the way on each side, then it's not going to let you lock it. So we're going to set that cocoa right there. And then that's about where we want it. So I'm going to add Seal just to one side again. I'm going to fold it and lock it into place before I set that down. And I want to make sure it's nice and straight before I rub that down. So see how that's interlocking right there. So it's going to hold it shut there. So what I've done is I've cut out Hot Cocoa Season with Poppy Parade, and I used adhesive sheets on the back of this. So I'm going to pull that back off. I'm kind of starting in the middle so it doesn't wrinkle up and change directions. So there that goes. Hot. I'm going to do the same thing with cocoa. I'm going to grab that bottom by at the C. Maybe. We'll bring my take your pick tool out. Not that one. This one. So I use this a lot. So we can pull that off. Now that we've got it started, I can set it to the side and I can pull that up. Turn that around. And then we'll do the same thing with Seasons. And once again, we're going to start with the S, kind of right in the middle of everything. Pull it up. And this keeps it from getting, because it's so fine and intricate, it keeps it from getting too out of whack. And then we'll do Season. There we go. And now I've got these famously loved peppermints. Let's do one there and do one there. And I think that's going to be it. All right, so here's that fancy interlocking Christmas card. So if you watched my live or part of my live, thanks so much for chilling with me. Hopefully this is a better video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next Sunday night at my YouTube Live.